Carol and Glenda, I've got Lieutenant Governor Garlin Gilchrist here with me, and of course, at the press conference, Lieutenant Governor, you spoke about how your dad and your uncle were part of the march 60 years ago. How does it feel to be part of the 2023 march?
It feels fantastic. I mean, my dad and my uncle are right here next to me, and to have a generational moment for my family, for this city, for this state, it shows that Detroit and Michigan continue to be at the center of the civil rights struggle, but also progress in the civil rights movement. And me and Governor Gretchen Whitmer are going to do everything in our power with the tools that voters of Michigan gave us to move the cause forward.
Let me ask you this, though. If Dr. King was here today, his message, what would it be?
I think Dr. King would always push us to want more, to raise our expectations, to recognize that when one person is oppressed, we all are experiencing oppression. When one person is experiencing racism, we all are experiencing bigotry and hatred. And he pressed us all to look within ourselves, to use the tools that we have at our disposal, because we all have a role to play in the movement. So I think he would be challenging us today, just like he challenged us 60 years ago here in Detroit.
What about some of the sentiments, like when he would see, because during the press conference, you know, Leon Russell mentioned about the injustices still happening in our society today, whether it's people of color, women, the LGBTQ plus community. What do you think his reaction would be if Dr. King was alive here today?
That is unacceptable. Dr. King was impatient for justice, and we all need to be impatient for justice and recognize that we all have something to do to make sure that people no longer experience injustice and racism and bigotry and hatred. And so he would challenge me as a public official. He would challenge all of us as individuals to play our part. And so he would not have any tolerance for that. He had no tolerance for intolerance, and that's exactly what's represented in that.
Speaking of a public official, and I know you and Governor Whitmer are working really hard to bring some of those changes out here. During the press conference, you know, I was talking about, like, what's the 10-year vision, and they're like, 10-year? There's a 10-year. We're talking about 2024.
I mean, we have a next week vision to make sure people can still get rights, can organize collectively at work. That's why we repealed right to work to restore worker protections here in the state of Michigan. So we have something that we need to accomplish every day, every week, every month, every year, every decade. So all of us experience the opportunity to be our best and not be held down by hatred. And so we're going to work on that every single day.
I'm going to shift gear a little bit. You know, going back to the first point where your family, your dad, your uncle were part of the march 60 years ago. What were some of the things they shared with you to prepare for today's march?
Well, just knowing how important it is to carry this movement forward generationally, that even young people have a role to play in this movement. And in fact, the moral authority young people hold is critical to holding the heart and soul of this movement as it goes forward. So that's what they taught me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And once again, Carol and Glenda, this is a day I wish I was taller. You guys can't see me. Oh, there you are. So the march continues all the way down to Woodward Avenue, and of course, I think we're almost halfway there. And as you can hear the message right now, we want peace. Stop the violence. It's a peaceful march. 60th commemoration of the Freedom Walk.
So nice to hear
June
from
23rd.
Lieutenant Governor Garlin Gilchrist walking right behind that banner, and right in front of the Lieutenant Governor, you see Dr. Michael Dyson, a very important figure in the black community as well.
That is quite a front row leading this charge.
Yes.